Alright, the Leech does not have control of my mind for this review, but I'm ready for it. Mind Leech. This is going to be a more of an indie horror film. Maybe some of you haven't heard about it yet. It is a new release as well. And just a little bit of a disclaimer, we are promoting it at promotehorror.com, which is how I kind of got to watch the film. And but as you guys know, I review some of the stuff that I promote. So here we go. I will try to keep the two separate and keep this as honest as possible. Yeah, I guess the first thing to know that this is a indie horror picture, so it is lower on the budget, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. It means that you give it a little bit of slack here and there, because it's not anybody's fault that they don't have a budget. They have a good idea here and they put it together and did their best to bring a horror film to horror fans. So we appreciate that. I'll just read real quickly the description, and then I'll tell you a little bit about it, and then some of my thoughts. So here we go. A very persuasive leech is wreaking havoc in rural Provinstate, 1998. On a mission to expand its horizons, our influential invertebrate enlists the help of the local townsfolk. The police are soon on the trail of the pesky parasite. Alright, that's it in brief, and it pretty much sums it up pretty well. The beginning of the movie obviously is going to set the stage to why we have this leech kind of on the loose here. And you have two guys here that are supposed to, I guess, dispose of a canister of some toxic stuff. And of course, they don't do it in the right way. We hear a lot in the news about dumpings and stuff of chemicals here and there. It's big in the news right now. And yeah, it's happened here in this town. So of course it goes in the water, and therefore we have a special leech now, that it comes out of the water. And we have two guys who are different two guys who are soon later going to be fishing. And this is, the background here is it's winter, it's snowing, and so forth. So they're ice fishing, actually. So they got their little shack there, they got their little hole in the ground, and they're fishing. And here's our first encounter with this leech. And what they kind of do here in this movie, and like I said, it is indie horror, so they make the most of it. This is not a huge creature feature, where you're seeing it attack here and there, and it's this huge leech or anything. It is bigger than average, and but they kind of use some techniques to kind of cover it up. But mainly that the leech does what it does, and it kind of jumps on the people and gets on them, usually their face. And it is, like I said, a little bit bigger than normal, so you definitely know it's there. And kind of sucks on, and then as it does, it kind of takes control of the person. So the person's kind of acting a little bit weird, but that's because the leech is now in control. So of course it's going to attack these guys that are fishing, and then proceed on from there. So as we're going to get that introduction to the leech and where it comes from and what it's doing, we also got an introduction to two police officers. And they're out, this is kind of like a small town, they're out doing their thing, not thinking that it's going to be that busy of a day, but then they soon end up on the trail of this leech and what it is doing. So then they go on, obviously, the hunt for. They don't know it's a leech at first, but obviously they find some murder and try to figure out what is going on here. So they go on the track for that, and obviously eventually going to come face to face with whoever has this leech at the time. And I'll kind of leave it kind of at that. That's the basic premise of what's going on here. Um, I think, as far as some comments on the film, I think, the acting is pretty good for indie horror. I didn't have a problem with any of the actors. I thought they all delivered their lines and did a pretty good job. Were pretty believable in their roles. Sometimes, uh, you know, there's some people there that you do your best to find who you can, and then sometimes it ruins it. But I thought everybody here was did a pretty good job, and so it didn't distract from the film. Like I said, the Leech, it is not one of the a big monster film here. It is going to be on the face of the people, and then they do a kind of a good job of kind of hiding it and keeping it there and kind of finding a way to work it in with the people that are in the movie and the ones that are been attacked by the Leech. So and it's kind of disgusting. When you see it, it's nasty to even think about. Um, there are one or two times where you're going to see the Leech kind of on the ground and moving, and they do an all right job with that. I mean, then it's kind of a little funny because it kind of makes this little squeaking sound as it's kind of moves around and so forth. So it's a little funny. Um, but you're going to see kind of an end game where where the Leech is, where it wants to go, or where it's going to kind of end up, and then the chaos in between. There is a little bit of blood and guts in here. They did do manage to squeeze some in. There are going to be some deaths. Nothing over the top. I guess that there was, I don't want to get into the details. Let you guys see it. I guess there was one that wasn't too bad. A guy, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to give everything away. But yeah, it's not anything over the top. They did a little bit here and there. There are kind of some shots where you kind of know what's going to happen, and then they kind of almost show you what kind of happens afterward. They don't show you the full effect, but that's okay. It still works fine here, and they shot it pretty well, so you're not missing out on too much. Um, you guys know me. I like the more blood and more guts. Um, I like to see the squirting and everything, but that's okay. Um, and yeah, and then it has got a good ending. Um, kind of almost kind of leave it open. I mean, I don't can't imagine. I don't know. What their mind is, but I guess if they wanted to do another one. Um, but it was a nice and fun ending there. So it is, and it is only, I think it was only about 60 minutes or so, give or take. So not an extreme long watch. They kind of move right to the point. Like I said, they kind of cover all the bases, where the Leech comes from. It attacks, it gets on the move. The police officers, you get a little bit of an introduction to them early, and kind of their dynamic, the chief and his partner there. So you're gonna get their dynamic, and and as far as the actors and the characters, they play off each other really well. So you kind of get into that, and then it starts rolling. Then it's the chase for the Leech, and how they're gonna catch it and get rid of it, and so forth. Um, so overall, I thought it was pretty solid. Sometimes honestly, these indie horrors can be hard because, like I said, of the budget or because of the acting or whatever. But I thought this was solid all around. Um, so I'm gonna end up giving it 3 pools of blood. Again, that's not biased. That's not because promoting it and whatever. It was just a good effort here. Good solid film, and had all the right pieces. I definitely think maybe if they had a little bit of a bigger budget, maybe they could have expanded out maybe some of those death scenes and made them a little bit more bloody, and maybe done some more stuff with the Leech. I don't know if they nailed everything they wanted to do there, but this still, like I said, they made it work for them and their use of it. And yeah, I mean, just overall, it just it's a nice small short film. 60 feature film, not short, but 60 minutes, so it's a little under what we typically see in the big blockbuster movies. Um, but I thought they squeezed in everything they needed. It really didn't need to go too much beyond that. So yeah, if you guys come across it, I definitely have the link down below, and of course, again, it is being promoted at promotehorror.com, so you can find out the information there. I'll put all those links down below so you guys can find this film and rent it and check it out. I definitely think it's worth a watch if you're looking for something a little different. You want something outside of the the big budget movies that are out there, and you guys are looking for something indie to watch. This is definitely solid. I put on Amazon the other night and put on some others. Obviously, other stuff that made it on Amazon, but it was obviously lower budget as well. Probably a little bit higher budget, it seemed, than this movie, but was far worse than this, and so bad, just whatever. So I think that this is definitely one. If you're looking for something that you're not familiar with and you want to give it a try, it's definitely worth it. So again, that is 3 Pools of Blood out of 5. And as always, horrorstory.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews, the video reviews and written ones, a little bit of both. Everything is there. But if you're just interested in the video ones, feel free to subscribe. Having the video reviews up, also doing a lot of fun stuff. If you guys have been subscribed and following, a lot of other things putting on the channel lately. Keep you guys entertained. Twitter, Facebook information down below as well if you want to reach out, talk about this movie, other horror, whatever you guys want to talk about. If you do happen to pop this in and catch it, please leave a comment below and let me know what you guys thought, and we can pass that on to the filmmakers. If you guys post a review out there of whatever, you can let me know and I can make sure that they see it as well. If you're not sure where to send it. And yeah, that'll be it. The Leech had no mind control over me for this one. So all me, 3 Pools of Blood, and I'll catch you on the next review, horror fans.